What's happening, people? What's going on? It's Andrew Canada here on the mic talking to you. As you see, if you're watching on the YouTube, I got the sunglasses on. That's because this is the cool episode of Two in the Cooler. Didn't plan on it, just sort of happened, but that's how you do it cool. As you can tell, I'm an expert on the subject. But anyways, folks, thank you for coming back to another episode. Before we get into all the coolness, gotta tell you about Instacart. Folks, Instacart is without a doubt the best way to get some of your favorite products from some of your favorite local stores delivered right to your door in as little as 1 hour. Ooh, yeah. Instacart is the absolute best thing, what you need going into the summer. Okay, that's the time for picnics, barbecues, cookouts, all that sort of thing. Let's say you're planning on, everybody's going to be going to the store to pick up hot dogs, burgers, buns. They're going to be elbowing each other for ketchup, mustard, relish, whatever else you like on there. Fuck all that. Just use Instacart. Get all that stuff delivered right to your door in as little as 1 hour. Don't waste your time fighting with people over bacon cheeseburgers when you can just have them delivered. The best part is right now, Two in the Cooler listeners get free delivery on their first order of $35 or more. Just hit the link in the show description and get yourself that deal. Start using Instacart today, folks, before it's too late, because you're definitely going to need it. Also have to mention, of course, the merch, teespring.com/store/2 in the cooler. Start the summer off right with the tank top, PTP, baby. Protect the prostitutes. That's the new line we got up there right now, and people are loving it, okay? Put some of that stuff on. You'll be feeling good and showing your support for the men and women on the front lines of sex work. But it's awesome seeing all those orders come in, and the reason we chose Teespring, of course, was because of the quality of the merchandise that you are going to get. The t-shirts, folks, there's only one place I shop, and that's Target. That's because anybody who knows a Target. You can't beat the quality of the shirts there. Teespring.com, you're getting shirts from us that are Target quality. So get yourself something classy for the summer. Get yourself a t-shirt, tank top, whatever you need. Teespring.com/store/2 in the cooler, or just hit the link in the show description. Thank you, folks, for listening. Let's get into the episode. Stay cool. And we're going. Boom. Live. Look at that.
Oh, we are going.
Yeah, look at that. You know what? Keep it on you first.
Oh, come on. He copies my look.
No, I'm not copying it. I'm paying homage.
To me?
I almost was, I guess so. I'm paying homage to sunglasses.
To me?
As a whole. No. Okay, now you got me regretting this. But I like this. I think that this, you know what? I think this works out especially with the Who Would Win that we just picked, because this is the cool episode of Two in the Cooler.
I haven't have a cool episode. I personally threw the sunglasses on because the lights were feeling extra bright today. I think it was because I've had my sunglasses on from the time I left my house today.
Yeah.
At like 10 a.m. until I walked in the store. I actually almost wore them into the shower.
So you might as well keep it going.
Yeah, I wasn't going to stop. It's just really that light was feeling bright for me today. So the sunnies are on for the time being. We got a lot to talk about. I've had a busy time since the last time we were here. I don't think I've stopped once.
What have you been?
Well, I don't remember what I was doing Thursday, the day after the show, but I know I had some shit.
Okay.
I think I was working or something, and then Friday I went golfing with one of my advisors. We had a blast, and then I had a banquet to go to. Then Saturday I moved all day, and then had a diaper party to go to at night.
What the hell is a diaper
surprise
party?
We'll get to a diaper party.
Okay. As long as we go back to that.
And then a surprise party. And then I had to wake up Sunday, finish moving, wake up early, and I was wearing one. Finish moving, go do some work at the house. And then Monday, had to finish all my school stuff, so I'm officially done with school.
Wow.
And then Tuesday I worked. Today I was back at the house working again too.
I didn't realize that you moved.
Yeah, it was a lot of work. I'm telling you, I have not like just sat down and laid there and been like, in like fucking literally a week. And I'm a big sit down and lay there and go,
I know
guy.
that. I know that.
And a couple notes I have to bring up right away from last episode too. We talked about the Jack Eichel story. And a lot more has came out since then. I wanted to address it first thing. I wanted to get ahead of it.
Sure.
So we talked last week about how the Sabres wouldn't let him have this surgery, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know what I'm talking about, go back and listen to last week, but not all of it because it turns out my take was pretty cold.
Oh, okay.
So it's came out since. Might have been out then. I just didn't know it yet. That so he went. The Sabres doctors told him 12-week rehab. Remember, for his neck, he herniated a disc in his neck. 2 of them, maybe something.
That's
like that.
just leaving it alone, no surgery.
Yeah, 12-week rehab. That puppy. And so he went and got a second opinion, which he has the right to do. And it turns out that they told him the 12-week the Sabres were right. Do the rehab. But he found this like crazy elective surgery that no hockey player has ever gotten. Only 3 boxers have ever done it, where they pretty much replace the entire disc with an artificial disc. And so now I'm team Jack Eichel might be going crazy. Because if you go to 2 doctors, and they're probably pretty good doctors, right? You'd have to assume.
Yeah.
That if you go to 2 of them, they both tell. What's going on here?
Oh, it's okay. It's just I'm fixing it.
Oh. So if you go to 2 doctors, they tell you the same thing, just 12-week rehab. You don't need this surgery. And you friggin' WebMD, this crazy, like, elective surgery. I wouldn't probably let him get it either if I was the one that was paying him $10 million a year, So I'm actually not team Jack Eichel anymore in the situation. I still wish the best for him.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that he's almost at a point where he's going to continue to say he wants the surgery until the Sabres trade him. And then wherever he goes, he'll just do the rehab. But I think that deep down he actually does want the surgery. And I would love to know who like showed it to him and talked him into it kind of thing. Or if it was – and if it's all on his own, like he just decided that, then that's even crazier because everybody's telling you don't do it.
Right. What it comes down for me, because what I was saying last time, the thing that blew me away was that he's been in Buffalo for 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize that. And like I said before, a guy with that much potential and legitimate talent to kind of, basically, in a lot of ways, I think waste. Would you say waste is a good word?
Yeah.
Waste,
definitely waste.
Yeah, waste his first 6 years in the league
and
in Buffalo to now to do this crazy surgery. That's a bad move,
man. And the best part about the Sabres social media teams are hysterical. Like all they do is add gas to the fire with every shitty decision that the organization makes, and they don't realize it until they do it, and then everybody just absolutely roasts them. And their Twitter account, so, remember we talked about he had that whole press conference where he's like, yeah, there's been a disconnect between myself and the organization. So the Sabres tweet out yesterday that they've nominated Jack Eichel from their team to win the King Clancy Award, I believe it was, which is like a leadership award, saying like Jack Eichel displays all this leadership on and off the ice. And people were just lighting it up in the mentions. Like half of it was like, what do you mean he's not on the ice? He's trying to get a surgery or whatever. And the other half was like, after all the issues that have come out in the past week between Jack and the organization, like how
I would have thought they tweeted that as a joke.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, it would have been a hysterical tweet.
Oh, it wasn't a joke?
No, it was not
For real?
a joke.
We're positive it wasn't a joke.
No, yeah.
Because that's pretty self-aware of the Sabres. Like, that's pretty funny.
Yeah, no, it's not a joke.
It's no good.
Yeah. I think that's all I got. It's been all a blur, like I said.
Yeah.
I already mentioned who would win of the week. Me versus Sun. Sun wins every time. You can't beat the Sun.
It's tough to beat the Sun.
Today.
Yeah.
I'm barely standing. That was part of the reason when I walked in, I was like, I should take the sunglasses off because I was a bit nervous that I might fall asleep during the episode. But I'm feeling like those lights are bright enough to keep me
Yeah.
awake right now.
I like it. I'm glad we went with this because today I was thinking, because I knew I wasn't going to wear my hat today on the show.
Oh, so that's
I
your
was
thing,
like-
hat or shades?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, why don't I put the sunglasses on for the show? And that'll throw Matthew off. And then also I can do some moves like that, which will probably come in
You can
handy during the
peek
Who
me.
Would Win. Just kind of cut.
You can peek at me.
Yeah, peek at you. Just like,
Okay.
cut. Like you say something about, the Who Would Win of the week later. Like, oh,
Yeah,
and
that
they
you
cut to
don't
me and
like.
I'm like,
I will
boom.
be doing zero moves with the sunglasses. They're stapled to my face. Something crazy happened. We're on sunglasses, so I'm going to bring it up. I have always been the same way. I buy super cheap sunglasses. I buy Walmart sunglasses. These
Mhm.
sunglasses right here, look how good they look on my face. Walmart.
Yeah. How much?
These ones, a little more expensive. I got to take them off now because I got to explain it. Let me close my eyes while I do it. So these ones are the little bit more expensive ones because look what they do. They actually,
Whoa.
yeah, they got double hinges. So like they,
That's a good idea.
prevent them from. So these ones, $23 these ones cost me.
I was going to guess
Um,
22.
But the ones I usually, these are the same ones that I had previously before I lost them. But the ones that I used to get before those ones, I went to Walmart on Sunday. Sunday? I think I went to Walmart on Sunday, maybe Monday, to get new sunglasses. And they had the old ones I usually get. They look like this, but they're just black. They don't have the crazy hinges. And they're $11. And so I got them at Walmart, came home, took the tags off, put them on, realized that I had to go to Wegmans, put them on to go to Wegmans, came home, put them on the kitchen table. They haven't been seen since. They vanished into thin air.
It's the most commonly lost item.
There's a
in the
lot of
world.
speculation as to where they are. But I'm not the only person that knows that when we were going to bed pretty much, right as we started to get comfortable that night, the sunglasses were on the table. It was once it was dark out, the sunglasses were still on the table. So there was no reason for them to be moved. So then I had to go back to Walmart yesterday, buy these ones. I was a little bit salty. No, I bought these ones this morning. See, I didn't even know. Went to Walmart this morning, bought these ones. So if you see my black $11 sunglasses, please return them.
Just
because
alert the authorities.
I'm not even mad that I had to go back and get other ones because back when I was, a high roller, I used to have two pairs. I used to have a pair like this. You can't really see on the camera, but these are like that, not cheetah print, but that
It's like
texture.
leopard.
Yeah, that
you know.
brownish,
It was kind of
blackish.
I feel like there was a very popular pattern for sunglasses if you were like a mom in the mid 2000s.
Yeah, but it's stormed back into these type of style sunglasses, that color scheme. But the ones I bought there, they were black, and it's nice to have both because you can always switch on and off. You got to
Sure, one for formal events.
because those ones were
if you want a
black
party.
gold frame. These ones I believe are silver. Well, silver down here, right?
I can't tell. I got my
You
sunglasses.
got your sunglasses on. So yeah, if you see them, return them. I'm not even gonna get into where I actually think they are because it's just gonna cause controversy.
Okay.
But
People are on the case. It's being looked into.
yeah,
Okay.
it actually was. Stated that. Wait, I'll read it because I thought it was pretty funny.
Will you lower your mic just
Yeah.
so it's blocking?
I actually received a text that said, what are you trying to run a crusade against me right now? Because I was so passionate about finding my sunglasses.
That's understandable.
But, yeah, I don't want to get into it any more than that. But I did have another funny thing that I had to bring up, and it's going to get very topical here. Shit. I got to find the text. I just have to find the text. I also got a text today from somebody that said, dude, we can walk around maskless and weed is legal. It's a new renaissance. That was a text I received today in a group message. And I was like, yeah, maybe it is. But I wanted to get into the whole, I don't want to get into the whole maskless thing, but I do think that for those who are vaccinated, very exciting news.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been in two stores today, both of them. I was like nervous to walk into them without masks because they still have signs up. I don't know if they just didn't take them down. And one of them, I was the only person in. It was a gas station. The other one was Walmart. So I wasn't going to not wear my mask because everybody in there is wearing their mask. But I imagine it's a great feeling to walk into a public building just letting the wind breeze across your lips.
Yeah. I wonder. The one place that I went today had a sign up that was like, we're still doing masks here.
See, that's a good sign.
Yeah.
We're still doing masks is a good sign. What I don't like is places that still have their old mask signs up. I mean, I know it was only a day's.
Sure.
But now that creates
now
confusion.
You're not sure.
Yeah.
You know what though? But if I think that's just for like today and like tomorrow, maybe whatever, like a couple of days. If they're still up in a few days,
the
then
sign
we
guy
know.
is once again on back order. We had this conversation back when the pandemic started, like signs and like floor stickers, shit like that. If you are in the sign or the floor sticker business, you are a billionaire by
Now
the
you
end
are,
of the
yeah,
pandemic.
absolutely.
Yeah. That was the best thing that could have ever happened to your business. A lot of other people suffered, but you are now on top of the world. So congratulations.
Yeah, floor sticker salesmen control, 1% of all the world's wealth at this point. It's a very impressive statistic.
Yeah, one might be lowballing it too.
You think they control at this point? Maybe they control upwards of. I wouldn't say it's more than 3. I'd say it's probably. It's probably less than 2.5.
I thought 3 sounded like a lot as well, but
yeah.
I'll give them 2. Not gonna cut them short with 1.
Yeah. If you're in a business like that, you still probably do feel shitty about it. But what if, because obviously I think that with this whole pandemic, really rich people had it easier than everybody else. In a sense, because they got these big places. It's very easy for them to stay isolated because they don't have to go out. They don't have to work.
That's called
still.
life.
You know what I mean?
In life, usually rich people have it easier than
right. But in the
non-rich
context
people.
of the pandemic specifically.
Yeah.
So if you are a sticker salesman and it's early January 2020 and your wife just divorced you, she took the kids, you got no money, you're living in a studio now, or you're living in like a La Quinta Inn. Then all of a sudden your little key bank account starts boop, 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 boop,
Yep,
boop. That direct deposit
Just
starts climbing. And now, because at first your numbers are going up, but there's still a pandemic. You're not super rich yet. You're like, oh man, this is terrible. But now you got so much money that you're kind of in that, like you said, you're in that 2%.
You're feeling yourself a bit.
Yeah.
Your ex-wife's probably calling you, saying,
"Oh, for sure."
And you're saying, "Fuck you! You see my stickers everywhere."
It's the "fuck you, Janet" sticker company.
I have so many opinions on things that have happened now that the pandemic's coming to an end.
Oh, sure. I mean, in retrospect, I think we're going to see a lot of people
but you want to know
all kinds of things.
The only thing I'll say, because I don't think it's like,
controversial?
Yeah, like a hot topic is, you know how like randomly 2 months ago, they came out and they're like, oh yeah, by the way, COVID can't be spread like on items. You know what I mean?
No, I didn't know that.
Oh, well, I saw that, and I was like, that's funny to all the people who were going around everywhere wearing gloves, because now they just look like assholes.
Yeah, better safe than sorry, I guess.
See, I never agreed with the glove thing, though, because I think wearing gloves just gave you the ability to spread germs at will with no repercussion. Because you could just
sure, you can, because if you have the gloves on, you are definitely not worried. You're obviously not worried about touching anything. But if you are going by what you think is the science of the glove, that the COVID can be through touch, it's just getting on your glove. You're indiscriminately touching everything, getting everybody else sick.
Yeah.
We need to bring the glove wearers of the world to justice. It started with Michael Jackson, and it's ending right here with these folks.
There's only a few appropriate times to wear gloves. If it's really cold, and
if you're a welder,
Yeah, welders can wear gloves. I mean, like, if you're work gloves don't count. We're not talking about work gloves.
Okay.
I'm talking about, like, recreationally. There's only a few times you can wear gloves when it's really cold, and if you drive a super duper sick motorcycle, you can wear fingerless gloves. Sonk. That was a joke. You're all assholes. Another thing I want to bring up, and I already know the answer because I could just see it in your eyes. You didn't happen to watch the Atlantis documentary, did you?
No.
Fuck. All right, next week. You really should. Just 'cause I want to talk about it, and I was not prepared to talk about it on the show, but it kind of fit right into what we were talking about with the whole obsession thing. So I wanted to bring it up. I wish I was more prepared, so I was hoping that maybe you had got a chance.
No, but we can get into it if you want.
No, I didn't watch it again. I mean, we talked about it last episode.
Okay, I'm just making. Yeah, but I know last episode you were like, I don't want to get too much into this.
Well, because I wanted you to maybe watch it.
Yeah, but I almost think it'll be better talking about it if I haven't seen it, because then it's almost like.
Well, then I have to go watch it again. Like, and then I have to.
Oh, you need.
up.
Okay. You
well,
need
because you remember me trying to talk about it last time. I was like, I think this is what they said. When I watched it, I was watching it very recreationally. I wasn't studying it.
I did watch the cartoon though. Since then.
That's even worse because you were on Disney Plus and you had a choice to make between a movie from the early 2000s that we've seen or the documentary that we talked about that's historically accurate, and you chose the cartoon.
I'm a big fan of Milo. I can't get enough Milo.
I like the guy with the drill on his head, the mole guy.
The mole guy, very funny.
Yeah.
Holds up to this day.
Yeah,
that was
like
a big part
guy.
of a lot of that's a very diverse crew that they have on that. They're on a submarine, aren't they? Yeah, well, they're going to Atlantis.
I was working on a pool yesterday, and I had the bare necessities stuck in my head, and I couldn't get out of my head. But it led me to think, like, what a clever name for a song, the bare necessities, because it's a bear singing it, but it's the bare necessities. And I was thinking, I wonder if they were sitting in a room with like a group of creative people trying to come up with that, or if somebody was just hanging out and said, like, oh, that's the bare necessities.
Well, they have.
And then they were like, wait a minute, we're currently trying to script a movie
with a bear in it.
We should have him sing a song. And the bear is trying to teach a kid how to live in the jungle. It's the bare necessity.
Well, they have. I think at that time it was the same two guys that did a bunch of other Disney movies. I think it's like the same guys that did like the Mary Poppins songs. And
Mary Poppins is way older than the Jungle Book, though. I mean, I know the Jungle Book's.
No, it's not.
I thought Mary Poppins was from like the early 30s, and I would have guessed the Jungle Book. What?
I'm just looking it up. Yeah, keep going. I want to know.
I would have guessed the Jungle Book was like. I'm gonna guess low now because I'm thinking low.
Okay.
But if I try to put it on a timeline with a lot, is it newer than we thought it was?
It's newer than I thought it was, but I don't know.
I'm gonna go 60s.
Yeah, and you think Mary Poppins?
I would have guessed like mid 30s.
Really?
Excuse me, I just burped right in the mic.
So here we go. Mary Poppins, 1964. Jungle Book, 1967. So those are pretty close.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. See, I would have guessed. Was there like Mary Poppins? Really?
There was a Mary Poppins that's based on a book that I think, because there was that movie with Tom Hanks, Saving Mr. Banks, that was all about him trying to convince the author of Mary Poppins to get them to make a movie. Because the book, based on what I saw in that Saving Mr. Banks movie, the book is like, aside from being very different from the movie, kind of like depressing. But it's but like I said, completely. It's not like no cartoon penguins.
Also, the Mary Poppins always has reminded me of The Sound of Music.
Yeah, and it's the same actress.
Well, the two things that really differentiate them the one thing that really differentiates them, which actually might make them similar, is the presence of Nazis.
Nope. Where are the Nazis in Mary Poppins?
Well, it's a Disney movie. See?
So inherently,
I teed that up.
You know what?
I teed that up perfectly.
You know, I like to compare Dumbo and Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark, for that very same reason.
Because there's an elephant?
Because there's an elephant. No, the elephant's in Temple of Doom.
I don't know. I don't really even think I've ever, since I can remember, sat down and watched Dumbo. I don't know anything about Dumbo. All I know is that he's an elephant that has ears so big that he can fly. But I feel like a lot of elephants.
I mean, that's the whole movie.
I feel like a lot of elephants have big ears, though.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Well, one, it's that his ears are super big, and also he's still a baby elephant, so he's a little bit lighter than, the average elephant, so he can make it happen, I guess.
So was he one day going to lose his ability to fly?
Probably.
Or his
Probably.
ears just going to continue to get
it's
stronger?
That's a good question. If he exercises them.
Well, because he's using them to fly, so they're going to.
But I think it's like you in your head, like you grow into it. I think he's going to grow into, like he eventually grows into his ears.
That was kind of a ricochet shot for no reason. I don't know if.
I thought it was funny.
Yeah, I mean, I sticks and stones may break my bones type situation. I dealt with that for a long time, so I'm not going to sit here and let it ruin my day. But I do think it was a bit uncalled for. I had something else that I was going to bring up. I don't know.
It was. I mean, it is accurate though. Like it's a straight on comparison. But the thing about those old Disney movies, well, Dumbo, and I think Bambi, like those movies, they kind of suck. Like I like Pinocchio and Snow White, which were the first two.
I watched Snow White. Sorry for the yawn again, folks. I watched Snow White not too long ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, on Disney Plus. I thought that they re-imaged a bunch of those movies. Like I know they've made a bunch of live ones, but I thought they like redid a bunch of the old ones, so
like restored them,
so that the quality. Yeah, so
I think that they did. So I think that the quality that you're seeing is in fact better than it was.
No, there's no way. Not the one I watched.
I mean, it's still gonna look.
I mean, this thing was straight. No, this thing. When I watched it, it looked like I was watching it on a VHS tape as like a 7-year-old.
I don't know.
And I actually looked because I thought that too, and I looked to see if there was an option to watch a different one, and there was not. It did not. Not that it looked like it was supposed to look, so it wasn't that it bothered me, but it didn't look good by any means.
Yeah, I think that's just because I think that's probably the best they can do with it.
I
it's
disagree.
So old.
They could honestly just redo the whole fucking thing, but like in the same way. Just modern, it probably wouldn't take them. I mean, it'd probably take some time, but I'm sure that they could do it if they really wanted to make it look better.
I guess
I'm just saying I don't think that this. I think that this was raw.
You expect
natural.
more from Disney.
No, I think the one that I watched was the original. I don't think that it was touched at all. And if you told me it was, I would say you're fucking lying to me, because if it was, then Disney needs a clean house. Because I've seen them do some cool shit, so whoever was on that project dropped the ball big time.
Let's just superimpose. Let's use that face impose technology. Get Mark Hamill's face on Snow White. See if we can make that happen. Get the numbers up on that movie.
I like the. I didn't really even remember exactly what that movie was about. So is the evil queen Snow White's mom?
No, I don't know what their relationship is. I think that Snow White. They never explained it in the movie, obviously. I don't know about the book, but I think that Snow White is just like, she just like lives in the castle. I don't think it's her mom.
Well, no, but if you watch the beginning of the movie and they flip through the book and they kind of explain the story, they say that Snow White was whoever she was, but when she was just a baby, the queen not banished her, but forced her to be a maid for the rest of her life.
Right.
To try to hide her beauty.
Because she was already like, this child is gorgeous. I need to...
And then she tries to get her killed. I'd rather kill this child than not be the most beautiful person. And also, the queen kind of looks like dog shit anyway. So she had her priorities all out of whack.
That's kind of a shitty beauty routine.
Just stand in front of a mirror?
No, what I'm saying is her, instead of trying to, her method to keep herself beautiful, quote unquote, was not to like
take care of
rub
herself.
some lotion,
it was to
hydrate or anything like that. It was just to kill everyone that was gonna look better than her. Which so the older she got, if let's say the queen probably is gonna live longer than anybody else because she's the only one not living in shit. So let's say the queen makes it to back then, I don't know what's old, probably like 50 tops or something, right?
50, come on.
What, 46?
I mean, when do you think what time period is the movie based in? Pretty damn old.
Yeah.
So I'm
Pretty
saying
damn old.
30. People used to die. People used to die, man. People like that's why people were getting married when they were like 9.
Yeah.
Because they're like, I'm already over the hill.
Yeah.
I think I'm done. And there's pros and cons to that. There really is.
Sure.
Pros, you don't have to live as long. Cons, you don't get to live as long.
Right, but also it's
How
not
about that
like
for an analysis of that
I think, you know what, I think that tracks though, because I guess inherently life wants to continue living, but if you're living back then, it's a terrible existence. Although you really have nothing to compare it to.
I would almost argue, though, that people had a lot less problems. Like, they were either going to get their village plundered or they were going to get the plague. And other than that, they were going to grow their own bread and milk their cows and not shower.
Interesting. Because I would say they had a lot of potential problems. But one, if those arose, there was nothing you could do about it.
I thought of 2 potential. What else is on the list of potential problems?
Besides, like, rape and disease?
Well,
starvation?
Village plundering includes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And then, the disease.
Yeah.
Starvation, yeah. Maybe. But I said they were growing their own bread, remember? I watched a movie. Oh, dude, what was the name of this movie? It was this guy who was like kind of a con artist, and he wanted, like, he was going around and like taking people's oil, kind of thing.
There Will Be Blood?
Oh shit! Yeah, that is what it is. And you know the scene where, they pull up to that house. The guy
I never saw it.
So there's this kid that comes to see him and tells him he knows where all this oil is, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like kind of behind his family's back, and so they go out there. The guy and his son go out there to see the oil, and they show up at this house, and they're like, but they don't tell him they're finding oil right away. They tell him they're going pheasant hunting, and the guy's like, "Oh yeah, no problem." He's like, "What do you guys need?" Blah blah blah, and they're like, "You need food?" And he's like, "We got potatoes." He's like, "You got any bread?" He's like, "No bread. Soil's not good enough. Only potatoes." And he's like disappointed. He's like, "Fuck, potatoes instead of bread. God damn it."
Yeah.
So that's why when I said bread, that was
grow your own bread. That's what you're thinking. Yeah.
GYOB.
GYOB. You could. But that's what I'm saying. Yeah, they had no. It was just like what you had was what you had. But I don't know.
I don't think I ever watched the end of that movie. Now that I think about it, 'cause I'm like, I have no fucking clue what happened.
That whole situation, what you're saying about them maybe having less problems, it kind of reminds me of something I was thinking about earlier, which is that thing, I don't even know if it's a saying, but it's like a cultural whatever. It's like people say something about like you have to know what bad times are to appreciate the good times.
The reason that popped into my mind, I think, was because yesterday I had a conversation with somebody when they were like, man, and it sounded old-timey, but the lead up to it made a lot of sense. And they were like, man, like, if you could go back and live a little bit in time where there was minimal technology, you had everything you needed to live, but you didn't have, the
80s.
The constant need. Yeah, I mean, 70s, 80s. Life was just awesome.
Maybe. But
it was so relaxed.
You were kind of in the Cold War still.
Okay, I'm talking, outside of war, but now war's never over, so it doesn't even matter.
Okay.
And we're headed to World War III. I'm pretty sure that if you look it up, you can find some good facts that say that China is gearing up to start World War III. They want it bad.
Well, I mean, I shouldn't say that, but the first World War started in 1919, the year after / same year as the last influenza pandemic. So, what are you going to do?
I love conspiracy theories.
It's just interesting. I
don't want to endorse the one I'm thinking of, but
Okay.
it's fucking awesome.
Okay, we don't endorse this conspiracy. Hit it.
Well, the idea that, you know how the idea has been floated out there that the virus was,
Man-made.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And released intentionally kind of thing.
Released intentionally.
I've
yeah,
we're talking about theories here.
Right. So sure, I've heard people say that.
So that makes me believe even more that China, or, that would make even more ground for that conspiracy to stick, that China is itching for a World War III because maybe, they wanted to throw a little panorama at us first and then at the world.
Let me dive into that. Let me conspiracy there. Who benefited the most from World War II? USA.
Well, that's because we won.
I know.
If we would have lost, it wouldn't have been us.
And we did.
So at the end of the day, just don't be shitty. And of course, you're going to be the one that benefits the most from a war.
I'm saying,
don't get bombed.
But we have, that really solidified the U.S. as a powerhouse that it is today. And I know, blah, 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 blah. But the fact is, it's still a global powerhouse, this country. And no matter how shitty it gets, it's going to hold that position for a very long time, I think. But I think that if anybody wants a world war, I don't think that it's necessarily China.
Oh my God, it's 100% China.
I think it's probably more U.S.
Why would we want a world war? We already are in that. When you're the top seed, you don't want to go into a fight for a reseed. You know what I mean?
But
we're two. If you look statistically at 2-0, we have to be the number one seed.
Mm-hmm.
So why would you ever want another world war?
That's fair. However, also being at the top does not mean that you are comfortable there. It doesn't mean you want to stop. You could still want to keep going, want some more power. And if that's how you got it before, maybe you try and this is the way you do it again. I will also want to say that another thing that I've heard, and I haven't read anything, but I'm pretty sure it's confirmed, not conspiracy, the Wuhan lab was co-funded by the U.S. So could go either way.
We're going into a rabbit hole that I think we should stay out of.
I agree. That's fair. We're diving pretty deep.
But while we're on conspiracy theories, because this is another thing that I actually was...
This is good sunglass conversation.
Yeah, I brought up you the other day because you know how, kind of in the midst of the pandemic, when there was all this news going on about the pandemic, the government kind of slid in there oh yeah, UFOs are real. And then they were but the pandemic.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about that story of you and Grandpa.
Yeah. Ooh, I have a follow-up to that. Keep going.
Well, no, I mean, that was...
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was thinking about it. I'm like, huh.
So I drive from Rochester to the studio basically every day. The other day, going down the highway, look up in the sky. What do you think I see?
Not an airplane.
Not an airplane. Same fucking thing I saw back in the day. Sitting there.
I was not doing that.
And then boom. Well, I mean, I'm just assuming I was obviously up in the sky that it could.
Was it?
Well, it was boop. And it was. See, the thing about this thing that I have now seen twice apparently is that it's not exactly. Well, again, it's very high up, so it's hard to tell. But it's not exactly like saucer. Well, it's not. You know how they kind of curve up top.
I think
it's straight up literally a saucer, like a plate, right? Like, it's just kind of this very thin thing that just sits in the air. And you know what? Because, everybody says, like, UFOs, you're freaking out. And, like, maybe if you get, like, beamed up or whatever, that'd definitely freak you out.
You do not want to get beamed up.
But what I'm saying, seeing this thing now, and who knows what it was. But if I'm saying, like I am, that it was the same thing I saw before, I saw it this time, and I was like, what are you going to do? Because there's nothing you can do about it. It's just up there.
See, I don't want to be the downfall to the human race, but I'm going to break something down for you.
Okay.
I have no fear. I do not mind if all of a sudden they're like, oh, yeah, we know that there's aliens out there. They've been here. We've talked to them. We've hang out. That's fine. Whatever. For as long as we've been alive, for as long as the world's been alive, they haven't fucked with us, and obviously we haven't fucked with them.
Yeah.
And if anything, if you believe it, history tells a story that aliens actually helped human civilizations years ago, right? I mean, that's
sure, pyramid stuff.
Now you're getting crazy. But we're big. We're already off the deep end.
Look, we got our sunglasses on this episode.
This
folks.
is my fear, and I'll say it in two ways. One, I don't ever want any country in the world, specifically our country, to, for a lack of a better term, try to big dick the aliens.
Yeah.
Like, hey, we're better than you. Because you know what? We would get our asses clapped by aliens if we had to fight them. And that's any literature ever.
Yeah.
Any type of anything. We're getting clapped by aliens. There's no chance. If I was aliens and I had a long-term plan, and again, I don't want to be the downfall of the human race. So if you are listening to this, aliens, this would be a horrible idea. It wouldn't actually work. But if I was the aliens and I knew that eventually I did want to come over and take this planet over, but I didn't know exactly how, when would I do it? I would do it during a world war. I would do it during a time of complete division throughout the world.
Yeah. All right.
So just don't kill us, aliens. That's my only thing. Like, if you guys are doing good up there, I'm happy for you guys. You guys can come hang out down here if you want. Don't do anything fucked up to us. And honestly, I don't even think we should ever even try to go up there, because all that's going to lead to is somebody like, yo, we could, that could be ours. And no, we don't need it to be ours. We don't.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we don't.
Right.
I mean, maybe once I'm dead, we will. If if our Earth goes to shit or whatever. Yeah. Some people say it will. Some people say it won't. I don't really feel like in my lifetime having to fight an alien.
I wonder,
because I don't see myself
picking up a gun and marching in there Independence Day style.
Yeah, unless aliens really aren't all they're cut out to be. But if they are all they're cut out to be, they're, like I said, they're gonna clap the shit out of us, and it's not gonna be great.
I wonder if what you said a second ago about, I don't want to deal with that. Hopefully it'll happen after I'm dead. I wonder if that's something that people have always felt.
I'm not. Yeah. Yes and no. Certain people. I'm not. This is the thing, is obviously, people are like, let's try to save the world for the next generation.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm all on board with saving the world for the next generation. But if you had to be completely honest and somebody was like, this is going to happen eventually, it can either happen during your time or during their time, what would you pick?
I think probably, well, because if it happens during your time, wouldn't it continue into theirs? But are you
or there might not
that
be
it doesn't?
Theirs.
Right. Yeah, so I think that everybody would just be like, keep putting it off. It's like that. South Park literally did an episode about this with about like global warming and stuff. Their last season that they did, it was the exact same thing. People just kept putting, they kept putting off this dealing with it. Well, it was.
But this is my thing about
or man, bear, pig.
You know, you see those things where people have like clocks that are like, this is when the world's gonna
the
end.
Doomsday Clock.
Yeah.
Well, there's only one of those, and it's a real thing.
Yeah, where is it?
I have no idea where it is.
It's like a big countdown though, right? And it says we have X amount of years and shit.
No, what it is, the clock changes time, so it can go forward and backwards. It's all about in relativity to midnight on the clock. So let's say we're getting down to World War III. It's like, oh boy, we're 1 minute to midnight. And some group of scientists uses some sort of equations based on what's happening in the, to adjust the thing. And so then
I didn't know
things
that
cool
existed.
Down, it moves back.
I didn't know that
5
existed.
minutes, whatever.
I'm talking. Yeah. I've seen pictures of people posting somewhere on the internet that it's just kind of a countdown, a clock that is a count. It's not that clock that you're talking about, and that just drives me crazy because you can't put like a definitive date on something like that, because by doing that you're assuming that nothing's ever going to change. And if you have any type of a brain, you would know that things are constantly changing.
Yeah. It sounds to me like those are just people that think that that's what the Doomsday Clock is and don't realize that it's actually moves forward and back just based on anything.
If I could find that clock, I would give us some more time.
But the
like,
clock,
people, don't worry about it. We'll be okay.
Okay.
And that's also something that I think about is
has nothing
these are
to
all
do with
horrible
actual
thoughts.
things.
Because I'm not saying that I want horrible things to happen.
Yeah.
But if the world was straight up going to end, I mean, it's ending for all of us at the same time. You know what I mean? If we got smacked like the dinosaurs did, per se.
Sure. Right.
Everybody, boom, done.
Nothing you can do.
Yeah, it's whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not whatever, but it's not like...
I think that that's exactly how people would react, too. I think that some folks would go, nuts. And maybe everybody would go nuts at first.
I mean, but, you'd be crazy to not go a little bit nuts.
Yeah.
But, I mean, because what do you, if everything on this planet just gets wiped, what are you missing?
Exactly.
And nothing's there.
So
nobody exists. Nothing exists.
Yeah.
There's just a whole bunch of nothingness.
Yeah.
No need to have FOMO. Like, there's nothing there.
Which really is, I think, the driving force behind people that want to be like the search for immortality, I guess, is just FOMO. That's all anything boils down to, is they want to see, they want to be around their loved ones and stuff because they don't want to miss out on time. They want to see technological advances because they don't want to miss out on that stuff.
Yeah, we talked about immortality last week, didn't we?
Maybe 2 weeks ago. I have no idea.
And this is just in my current very tired state and like very cool, relaxed state.
Yeah.
But I almost think that immortality, I mean, I guess this isn't a hot take because I think this is how movies about immortality usually go.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's all that it is cut out to be. I'm not saying that like dying is the
cool.
option.
Sure.
But I think that, if you stay healthy and the way that medicine works today, that you have the opportunity to live a long enough life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, in everything that's got immortality, the thing is, the people that are immortal always stay, like
young,
30 or whatever. Yeah, exactly.
That's
something.
Different.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, it's different. That's the only way to do it.
Because we
talked about the show. Yeah, and like the
Microsoft,
consciousness.
Somebody, yeah,
cloning, whatever's happening out there that we have no idea.
But it's almost like
I don't want to do that. But you know what I always say?
At some point, you kind of live through the same problem so many times.
Yeah,
because life's never going to be perfect.
Yeah,
even if you're a rich person that has the money to be able to kind of clone yourself or however it would work. Sure. You're still going to run into problems. And at some point, you got to be like, I've faced so many of these problems so many times. I've experienced so much. Why do I need to continue experiencing things? But that's not a great take either, because I would say I would like to live as long as I can.
Nah, I'm ready to go.
I guess I didn't want to be the
being,
one that got super. No, I mean I
understand. I remember being a kid, like pretty young, and like looking out a window and being like, I hope reincarnation's not a thing. Because if I have to do all this shit over again, I'm gonna lose my fucking mind.
The thing about reincarnation is, I guess being reincarnated, if you just died and if you like,
I mean, you don't know, obviously.
All right, so say this is how death worked.
Okay.
If you died, and all of a sudden you were a newborn baby, you know what I mean? Like your eyes almost open and you're a newborn baby. I mean, you wouldn't even know.
I know, and I don't care. And that,
but if you
could,
you could die and come back as a cat or some shit.
I wouldn't want to come. One, I would never want to come back. I wouldn't want to come back as anything but a person.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That would be the work. Isn't that, there's a religion that works like that, right?
Hinduism. But also
imagine coming back.
Hinduism, I don't know. That's what they said. But I mean, that's what they said in like old Simpsons episodes. But I don't think that's. I think it is because you get reincarnated in like a different class based on the class system.
Well, based on how you lived your life religiously,
yeah.
And then eventually you reach enlightenment and you no longer get reincarnated.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Imagine coming back as a sandfly.
Yeah.
They only live for 24 hours, so I guess
that actually,
all they do is be born, reproduce, and then die. And that's why there's 8 zillion of them. Fuck you, the days to sandflies, because it's about to be sandfly season 2. We're right on the cusp. You get weather like this,
and they're going to be hitting right where we are, basically.
Oh yeah, you're toast. Driving here every day, you're toast.
The thing, so continue. So you'd only ever want to be reincarnated as a person, that's for sure. But so with
maybe like a golden retriever that you could guarantee a great house in, because they're just like,
because they're really.
But even then, it's got to be frustrating to not be able to communicate properly.
For sure. But even if you're reincarnated as a baby and you obviously don't have a memory of like your past life or anything, that still makes me mad, because then I feel like you're tricking me into going into the cycle that I don't want to be a part of. That's very upsetting to me.
So maybe the key for you is you actually do want to become immortal because you don't want to be reincarnated. Spin Zone, you would rather not restart, so you want to maybe stay as long as you can.
I never thought about that before, but I think you might be right. If I have to be reincarnated, I would definitely be on my way for the Fountain of Youth. But I'm banking on that. Hopefully, when I die, it won't be anything.
So we've yet to actually find the Fountain of Youth, because Jack Sparrow found it in under 2.5 hours. And
that's Jack Sparrow, though.
Yeah, but okay. I think we should get into the Who Would Win of the Week.
Fair enough.
Just because, I usually say this, but obviously it's just Andy and I today. We're 50 minutes in, so if you haven't figured that out yet, try paying a little bit more attention to us next time, because we're spitting fire.
I might put like a little saxophone music under this whole episode, because it's
It's
episode.
Very, very cool and relaxing.
Yeah.
He doesn't like George Michael. You remember that YouTube video, the Sexy Saxophone Man or whatever?
That's a classic. Yeah.
That is. I wonder what that guy's doing, because that is one of the funniest videos of all time.
I wonder.
Can you play something else? He starts playing Careless Whisper again.
No. Play that.
Oh yeah, play that.
Play that one.
And it'll just randomly cut to him, like with a candlelit background, like half naked, and then he'll be in a mall all of a sudden, standing on a table in a food court, blasting George Michael.
This video the other day. I don't know if you've seen this. It's like these 2 little kids, and I don't know what country they're from, but they are like gonna fight each other. Have you seen this?
Yeah.
Are those children?
I think it's 1, yes, they're children. 2, my guess was Russia.
No, it's not Russia. It's somewhere in the Middle East, but I'm not positive where. That much I know.
Do you know where Russia is?
Yeah, it's in Asia.
Yeah, but I mean, it's pretty. They used to own all the Middle East. That's all Russia.
Fair enough. That's all Russia.
If you're not like at war, you're Russia.
Okay.
I don't know if that's appropriate to say, but I just mean that area, like those surrounding countries.
Sure. That's all Russia.
Where they still have names with
this podcast
where they still
recognizes the USSR.
If you have a lot of V's and O's and U's in your name, Russia.
Stands? What about stands? Because I'm pretty sure they're from one of the stands, these kids.
I mean, the stands are... Don't the stands pretty much border Russia?
I assume they do. Geography is my worst subject, so I don't know what I'm talking about.
If you're from a stand, you're not... No, there's a couple stands that I wouldn't say classify as almost Russia.
You know what? This is probably pretty close. So, but that's not the point. That's not the point. It's just these kids look like they're gonna. And I could, for the life of me, was not positive that they're kids. It's just in the one. I have no idea.
The guy that's in the background.
Yeah.
To me, he looks like
a dad, like one of their parents.
He looks like Russia though. Like that's.
Yes.
You know that UFC fighter? Khabib.
Yeah.
That's what he looked like to me. Russia. I'm pretty sure he's from Russia, or he's from a stand.
Yeah, he's from one of those places out there. Yeah, I was obsessed with those.
That we think Russia, but I mean,
I'm not saying I think that.
I just was saying.
I think they'll be
that
fine.
Whole area of like, I don't really know. You
Sure.
know what I mean? It's just Russia.
Yeah, I understand.
All right, who would win of the week?
Okay.
And yeah, Andy kind of alluded to it earlier when he threw on the shades. Remember, he was paying homage to me by putting on the shades.
No, I'm just paying homage to cool in general.
And that's kind of what this cool. Who would win of the week is all about, is cool. So we've got Arthur Fonzarelli, the Fonz.
Nice.
Yeah, you like that?
Yeah.
I knew that, too. I didn't have to look that up. The Fonz, one of the coolest, probably the coolest television.
I know. I mean, name anybody cooler. Can't be done.
He could just hit the hit in the jukebox thing. If there's anybody out there that actually I always pictured our Uncle Tim as a hit the jukebox and it turned on kind of guy. He was cool. But anyway, Arthur Fonzarelli versus Ferris Bueller.
Mm-hmm.
Ferris Bueller's cool as shit.
Here's a distinction for you right off the bat. Fonzie is cool. Ferris Bueller is popular.
No.
Yes, he is.
Well, they're both popular.
That's true.
But Ferris Bueller's cool. He does cool shit.
Ferris Bueller is cool, but you want
to know? This is a weird thing for me to say. I'm going to say it while you think. Ferris Bueller, in my mind, he's a con artist.
Yeah.
And I think that not all, but con artists are cool. They do cool shit.
Well, they have to definitely keep a cool head.
But I do agree that it comes through a level of being able to manipulate people.
Yeah.
But I think that the reason that they're able to do that is because of their coolness. Like what's his friend's name?
Cameron.
Cameron's not that cool. But they're really good, and their friendship is pure. But because Ferris Bueller is so cool, he's able to
just get people to go along with what he wants,
and almost make people believe. Because not only is he figuratively cool, he's literally calm, cool, and collected. When you look at it like that, you know what I mean. He never gets caught in a lie because he's just cool about it.
He keeps a level head.
Yeah, he's just cool about it. He's cool. And I definitely know more about Ferris Bueller. I've definitely watched Ferris Bueller more times than I have episodes of Happy Days in recent memory. I'm sure that growing up I sat through a lot of episodes of reruns of Happy Days.
Back in the day,
Tuesday, and meaning.
Back in the day,
Wednesday,
I would basically force everybody in the house to watch Happy Days during prime time. It was on because when we were really young, when we had to go to bed at like 8 or 8:30, it was on TV Land, Brady Bunch, Happy Days, Laverne and Shirley, and I'd be like, we have to finish dinner because it's 7 o'clock, and I need to watch this episode of the Brady Bunch that aired 30 years before I was born.
Yeah, but our mom also loved the Brady Bunch.
That's true.
So it worked out well.
I guess so.
Because was Donny Osmond on the Brady Bunch? Did I make that up?
You did make that up. He was just Donny Osmond was just his own thing. Yeah.
Really? That's embarrassing.
Well, he and Marie did have a variety show
I almost
called
couldn't.
Donnie and Marie.
I
I
almost
think.
couldn't distinguish the cast. If you put the outside of the Fonz, if you put the cast of the Brady Bunch and the cast of Happy Days in front of me, I wouldn't be able to figure it out.
Well, the thing is, the cast of Happy Days, they all look different. The cast of Brady Bunch, you got like 3 faces basically, because all the guys look the same and all the girls look the same, which is kind of the point of the show.
Yeah, because they're family.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, but back to the who
Back
would
to
win
the
of
who
the
would
week.
win. I think that your point makes a lot of sense. I guess it's just the difference between 50s cool, which is when Happy Days takes place, and 80s cool, because they feel cool in a different way to me. But they do both have, like you said, those elements of collectiveness. But let's talk about strategies going into this fight.
Okay. Can I say one thing before I do? And I don't know if this was where you're going to go. The start of this fight is going to be a lot of this and a lot of kind of this and a lot of John. It's going to take a while. John. It's going to take almost too long for this fight to actually start.
Right. People are going to be watching and be like, start hitting each other already.
It's going to begin as a cool off.
Yeah, a cool off.
And you will probably be surprised by this. I know, you talk strategy first.
Well, I think that it's kind of like what you said. Ferris Bueller, in a sense, is definitely a con man. The guy's got a silver tongue, talk his way out of anything. Here's the thing. Fonzie can't be fooled by that sort of deal. Fonzie is so hip. He's so street smart to what's going on. He is the one who, in Happy Days, anytime there was a guy coming around Al's, which was like or Arnold's, whatever, the like diner that they hung out, anytime some guy rolled through there and is like, hey, Richie Cunningham, why don't you blah, 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 Fonz would step in and be like, no, I've seen a million guys like this before. I know what's going on. You know, don't listen to him. You can't pull anything over on the Fonz.
Here's what I'll say, and this is strictly appearance-based. And you're going to be surprised by this. I think that Ferris Bueller is super cool. I think I like him more than Fonzie. But I could not see Matthew Broderick's character. Even though I couldn't see him taking a punch. He'd get his ass laid out. And I've actually never seen Fonzie throw a punch.
Yeah. But it seems like he could. It
seems like he could. I mean, when you wear a black leather jacket like that all the time...
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like you're ready to go at any second.
You have to.
He's almost
for
like
sure.
Give me the word.
Greaser?
Yeah.
Yeah. He absolutely is. You have to have for sure. I mean, I don't understand the science exactly, but you definitely have to have. Here's the thing: you have to have not just a certain amount of power, but you have to have perfect control over that power to tap the jukebox and get it going.
He's very in tune with what his body's capable of.
Yes.
He rides a bike, right? He rides a motorcycle.
Yep, rides a motorcycle. Good with his hands. He's fixing it up all the time.
So I know that I was pumping Ferris Bueller's tires.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean I think he's going to win this fight, because I don't. I don't think that he would, but I think that if it was a straight coolness off, I think that it would be really close. And I'm talking not them to each other. I'm talking if they each went in front of a panel of judges.
Right. And like who's
Because
cooler.
like you said, I do think that Fonzie could. And that's the other thing, is I think that Fonzie could get under Ferris Bueller's skin by seeing through his coolness.
Yes. You think that would upset Ferris Bueller? I'm not sure that it would.
Maybe not.
But it would definitely take away his number one tool.
Well, yeah, at least, maybe, yeah. So I don't know if getting under his skin would be the right term then, but it would leave him with nothing.
Scrambling, trying to figure out what else to do.
No, see, I don't think he's a scrambler. I think it would leave him. If it was a verbal altercation in that sense, I think it would leave with Ferris Bueller being the one to walk away. But actually, I almost think that Fonzie's so cool that he would just walk away. If once he called Ferris Bueller out on his bullshit, he would be like, "This is it.
Yeah,
I don't even need to hear what he has to say."
Fonzie's too cool to even stick around.
Yeah, so I think Fonzie would walk away.
That is 100%
But in a
true.
fight, I'm gonna lock this in. I think you're on the same boat. I think Fonzie would win if we made him fight, because I just that's that's kind of a trait of somebody that has the personality like Ferris Bueller. He never has to develop a toughness because he never is in a situation where he can't talk himself out of it.
Because that's his brand of cool.
Yeah.
And yeah, the thing about Ferris Bueller, kid's got a jaw made of glass. You can tell that for sure.
Well, that's what I mean. I think it would be once the fighting started, it would be a really quick fight. But up until then, it would be the longest recorded fight in history without a punch ever thrown. Couple hair combs, couple collar pops, a lot of walking in circles, a lot of
yeah.
A lot of shaking.
It's got to be Fonzie.
Jumping on your toes, making yourself look like you're a better fighter than you are is what happens before that fight.
A lot
starts.
of peacocking.
Yeah, and then at the end of the day, Fonzie's probably just going to hit him and he's going to drop like a bag of rocks. But I do think that Ferris Bueller is super cool. So just
I don't know. I mean, comparing this, I don't really feel like Ferris Bueller. I don't know if he's that cool.
Fonzie's a different type of cool, though.
It is different types of cool.
Is why you're able to say that because we've talked about the fact that we think that in a verbal altercation, Fonzie could kind of strip him of that coolness.
Yeah.
But in Ferris Bueller's day and age, there is no Fonzie.
Oh, okay.
There is no Fonzie in the life that Ferris Bueller lives.
That's true. I think that Ferris Bueller, he's cool because of the freedom that he has.
But here's a side point to that is...
And that's not Fonzie's cool.
Because Fonzie is who he is, I think that we've given him the credit to this. But when you look at Ferris Bueller, there's people out there that see through Ferris Bueller, yet can never collect evidence on the fact that he is not who he is, if that makes sense.
Yeah, his sister and the principal. But the principal specifically...
Well, his sister knows. His sister just doesn't tell on him, kind of.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. She gets close, doesn't tell on him in the end. The principal, though, I mean, that guy is obviously... I mean, we don't have to say it, but he's no Fonzie.
Yeah.
And he's certainly no match for Ferris Bueller.
He's Mr. Crocker.
Yeah. He's a real Mr. Crocker.
Yeah. Big time Mr. Crocker.
So just to reiterate, I guess, locking in, I'm going for Fonzie as well.
We're going for Fonzie,
King
but
of cool.
I would say vote because, and also, this is a great time to bring up the clubhouse because this is a fight where, although we're giving Fonzie the credit, I bet you there's people out there that have an idea as to how Ferris Bueller comes out on top over Fonzie. And I'm curious to see that because I'm Team Ferris. I just don't think that he could physically outdo the Fonzarelli.
No, I mean, he's stringy for sure. But I think, again, he's got no defense and he's got no stability or, endurance. Like, he's toast right. I mean... Maybe he'll get lucky and be able to do something. But, again, because of Fonzie's body control, I don't think he's likely to land a hit. Yeah. And Fonzie's definitely going in, and the second he does,
so
Bueller's on the ground.
Yeah, let's lock that in. Vote on that on Instagram. The clubhouse,
4 p.m.
on Fridays.
Yeah.
Be there or be square. Guess who would be there if he could? Probably the Fonz. And probably Ferris Bueller.
Ferris might say that he's coming, but then we'd be waiting for him.
Yeah.
That
or the
like
Fonz.
Ferris.
The Fonz actually might be too cool.
No, because the thing about the Fonz, part of what makes him cool is that he
isn't too cool for shit.
Exactly.
Okay,
he's so like because Richie Cunningham is not cool.
No,
but Fonz is like.
Well, you look at
this guy's all right.
Richie Cunningham is like if the kid from The Sandlot grew up. That's
Smalls. Yeah. That's exactly right.
Yeah, he's an L7 weenie. Okay, lock that in. We've been going for just over an hour. Long week to start here. We kind of touched on if you had to write a description for this episode. I've never looked.
I don't even know what I would put.
Yeah, there's nothing. You would just have to put Matt and Andy chatting.
Yeah. One thing before we go that I think we should touch on because we are out as an anti-Friends podcast.
Oh, is the Friends
reunion? Yeah, so they put out a trailer for that. We knew it was going to happen on HBO Max. They said that it was. I didn't really know what it was going to be, but it looks like it's going to be a weird, like, like a conversation with them. Something. It looks like they were quizzing each other on like on Friends trivia. Some behind the scenes.
It's like what they do at the last episode of The Office, but they're doing it in real life, not as like a joke in the show. You know what I'm saying?
I don't remember the last episode.
When they do like a panel.
Oh yeah. For like the documentary that's in the show.
Yeah.
Right. That's why that kind
of
works.
And they do it as a joke, and that's why it's funny.
Right.
The Friends cast doing it as a real life thing is stupid as shit, and I hate that.
I think so too. Here's what I'm wondering. There's kind of two things. The first one being, if you're a fan of Friends, what kind of reunion do you want? Do you want what they're doing, or do you want like
an
episode? That's what I'm saying.
Episode.
I think especially because we've talked about it so many times. The thing that we don't like about Friends is the fan base. I think the fan base is super soft, very weak, super thin people, very skim milk people that are like the quote unquote super fans of Friends. I don't think if they actually have to like sit down with the cast and like talk about the making of the show, I don't think they're down for that. I think you're right. They want a script, like a new scripted episode, like where are they now? Yeah.
Which almost makes me more relatable than I'd like to be to the following of the show Friends. But we'll have to watch it. When does it come out? We'll have to watch it.
Yeah.
And we'll come on here and absolutely shit on it. I'm not going to say one. It could be the best thing I've ever watched just because
I'm wondering, because obviously
it's just not going to be good.
Because obviously it cost a ton of money to get those guys back at a room together. I mean, they're getting paid millions of dollars for just doing this. 100%. That's the only reason it hasn't happened before.
Really?
Because they were just waiting to get those big numbers.
I don't know much about the actors that do it. But, you hear sometimes, like I feel like
it's all about the payday, Matthew. It's all about the payday.
I don't know. I feel like with the cast of The Office, you could convince
different story.
People. But that's why I'm saying, again, fuck Friends.
Yeah, agreed.
Show sucks.
Yeah.
All right, well, Andy, let's wrap it up here.
All right.
Vote on the Hoodwin of the Week. Show up to the Clubhouse. The Fonz may or may not be there.
It's Andrew Canada on Clubhouse because there's no two in the cooler one.
There's no two in the cooler Clubhouse. The Fonz might be there. We don't know for sure that he won't be there.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll leave that up to interpretation. Teespring.com. And, yeah, love you.
Love you too. There we go. All right, folks. Thanks for listening. Let's get out of here. See you later.